Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Splitgate School. Now you're probably asking yourself, what is Splitgate School? Well, if you're new around here, Splitgate School is a new series I've been doing on the channel recently for those of you who are new to the game Splitgate that just came out that I've been covering a lot. And if you're looking to get started in Splitgate School, and arguably I think this is probably the most important video to watch, we just put out a video last week for a beginner portal guide. I recommend you go check that out. Link will be in the description down below. But in today's video, we're talking about something else: movement. Now, no matter what FPS game you're playing, movement is obviously one of the most important things you can tackle. But movement in Splitgate is no different. Yes, portals are huge, and portals are going to play probably the biggest role when it comes to your movement in Splitgate and getting around the map. But what about all that downtime between the portal plays? What about all that downtime when you're not portaling or you can't portal? What then? So the goal of today's video is to aim to help you improve all of that downtime and in-between movement and little mechanics that you need to master besides the portals. So if you're new around here and you've been enjoying Splitgate as much as I have, drop a like on the video because it really helps, and consider subscribing with the bell notifications on so you don't miss anything in the future. But other than that, let's get into it. All right, so here we are on the map Olympus, and I figured this is a good map just to kind of retouch on the first topic that I actually covered in the beginner portal guide. Again, video link will be in the description, but I just wanted to briefly introduce this video with it. Maybe you missed that video, and that's the quick idea of portal momentum. Basically, the short end of it is whatever momentum and speed you have going into the portal, you will come out of your opposite portal with that same speed and momentum, and this is the perfect map to demonstrate basically what you can do with that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to that outer platform right there and place my purple portal. I'm also going to look way down at the bottom of the map and place my orange portal. Also, quick tip, you don't have to place the portal that late. You can do it right before you hit the ground, and then you're going to see that we kind of fly over the map, have tons of momentum because of the falling speed that we went through the portal with. But that is a quick refresher on how to use portal momentum, and Olympus is obviously one of the biggest maps for that. Another thing in Splitgate is that you have sprint. So obviously while you're moving between your portals and stuff like that, this is probably going to be the fastest method to get to your next portal, is holding the sprint button. And if you've ever played any Call of Duty or any recent Halo, you probably understand what sprint is, and it's basically in every shooter nowadays. Sprint is basically unlimited until you cancel it. As you can tell, there's no sprint fatigue. I can endlessly keep going with the sprint, but just so you know, you have that option available to you, so do not forget to sprint. So now that we covered sprinting, which I didn't feel like I had to spend too much time on because I think you guys understand the sprint mechanic for the most part, there's another idea that I like to call bunny hopping. Well, not that I like to call, it is called bunny hopping. If you've ever been a fan of the older style arena shooters like Quake and Unreal Tournament, you've probably at least been exposed to the idea of bunny hopping. It doesn't work quite like it did back in those games. Back in basically Quake, you could bunny hop and gain a ton of momentum, basically side strafing through the air as you were hopping, and you would build up a lot of speed. If you go back and play Quake Champions right now, it's a perfect example of that. I think Doom might have had bunny hopping in it as well. And while Splitgate bunny hopping doesn't build you the crazy momentum that it did in those games, what it can do is it can kind of help you move around the map a little bit quicker and be able to take angles a little bit sharper. And on top of that, you're a little bit quieter because you're spending more time floating through the air instead of sprinting with your loud metal boots all over the place. And it basically just looks something like this. So I'm basically just jumping. Nothing really, I'm not gaining much extra speed, if any. But all this is doing is making me a little bit quieter because I'm spending more time in the air. Now, is it the most effective tactic to use all of the time? No, but I use this a lot when I want to be a little bit quieter entering a room sometimes, instead of doing this, where enemy volume on my footsteps is going to be through the roof when they hear me thud, 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 thud. Instead, as I'm approaching, I kind of do this, and I'll just bunny hop a little bit. And it's just a little tactic you can use in certain situations. It's not always going to be practical, but I see a lot of people using that. I see a lot of people underutilizing this. So I figured I'd let you know that it does exist, and it is something that you can play around with. Okay, so now that we've covered all of the basic movement mechanics, let's talk about the thruster packs, jet packs, booster packs, whatever you want to call them. The thing that does this. You can see the little bar on the center of the left of my screen right there. And as soon as that depletes, I no longer have thruster pack, and it recharges pretty quick, but you can only get so high. It's very reminiscent to like a Black Ops 3 style thruster pack, which is pretty nice. So if you've ever played Black Ops 3, it'll probably feel relatively familiar to you, minus the wall running. Now, thruster packs can be used in a lot of different situations. One of the most common is just to kind of gain some extra portal momentum as you're coming out of the portal. So as soon as you come out of the portal, kind of just slam your thruster pack, and now you have a lot more momentum coming out than you would have. Another thing is obviously jumping up to little places you wouldn't be able to get to without the thruster pack. They don't give you that much height, but they give you just enough to kind of reach certain platforms and ledges that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get to. You know what I mean? I wanted to switch gears for a second and switch to the map Pantheon to show you another good example of how important and how helpful thruster packs are. As you can see, there's a top ring in the middle of the map. Normally, in normal modes, that'll spawn the railgun up top, which is a very strong power weapon, something that you and your team need to keep control over. So how do you get up there? You can see the portal placements or the portal walls up there. Now, if I just place a portal up there and I place one here, I run through. Obviously, I'm not going to have enough momentum unless I jump from somewhere really high, almost like something like this. And then I might have enough momentum to get up there. But you're not always going to have the height advantage where you'll get that much portal momentum coming out the other side. So that's another place where thruster packs come into play. Now, say I'm on the bottom of the map. I can place a portal up there. Yeah, sure. But I have nowhere to jump and gain any more momentum to go through that portal and get up there without the thruster packs. Well, you sprint through. And boom, it's, you know, you use one full burst of your thruster packs and you're up here. Simple as that. Now, another technique with the thruster packs, the jet packs, the booster packs, whatever you refer to them as. Another technique that I want to introduce you to is something that I call feathering. Now, basically all feathering is laying off using the entire amount of your fuel with the thruster pack. Maybe you don't want to send yourself flying through the sky and expose yourself to every single enemy on the map. Maybe I want to go through this exact same portal and get up top, but I don't want to be 10, 15, 20 feet over the top ring so everybody can shoot at me as I'm flying through the air. Well, if you could just kind of gently feather the thruster pack, you can maintain a lower altitude and still get to the same place. Let me show you. So we go through and we kind of just gently touch the thruster pack. And what that does is it pretty much hides us from everybody on this side of the map. Yes, we're still exposed a little bit on this side, but hopefully I've cleared this side by the time I go through that portal. But instead of going through the portal and doing this and, you know, burning through the whole thruster pack, now everybody can see more of us. We're more exposed at every single angle. We don't have to burn the entire thruster pack fuel and get maximum altitude. We can kind of just go through and keep it low and slow and hug the left or hug the right. And that's the idea of thruster feathering, as I like to call it. Feathering is also really useful for little jumps like this, so you don't have to burn your entire thruster pack as you go through the middle of the map, and you can get through as fast as possible. Because look, if we're using the whole thruster pack, then what? We're hitting this, we're kind of fumbling, we're wasting time in the middle here. Little love tap, couple little love taps to the thruster pack, get over the gap really clean, really effectively, really simple. And most importantly, the fastest. And this last part is kind of a bonus tip that I wanted to end the video with. It doesn't focus solely on movement, but movement is heavily the reason that this is even possible. And that is melee damage. Believe it or not, in Splitgate, the faster you are moving, the more momentum you have, the more velocity you have, the harder your melees are going to hit. Now, normally, if I walk up to one of these training dummies, you're going to hit one of these guys for like 50 damage. And that's pretty much the maximum you can do. Whether you hit him in the back, whether you hit him in the front, it's all 50 damage headshot, even though I think it should do a little bit more damage right to his face. It's 50 damage no matter where you hit them. It always kind of gets sucked to the middle of the body too. And no, I'm not on controller. However, if you gain a little bit of momentum in melee, say from like a thruster pack move, melee, 93 damage. Did you see that? 93. And you'll get more damage the more momentum you can build up before you hit that guy. So let's try to get something even higher, right? Let's put a portal above his head right there. Let's go through. We're going to thruster pack, and we're basically going to give this guy the people's elbow from the top rope and see what happens. 100 damage. Meaning that you can one-shot melee people. If you are able to pull it off and gain enough velocity before you melee them, you can one-shot people with the melee in this game. It's not always the most practical to pull this off, but I feel like next to nobody realizes that this is a thing, and this is probably one of the best hidden movement quote-unquote tips that I can give you. All that other stuff is just going to help you traverse the map, get away from people more. But what about the times where maybe you run out of ammo? Maybe you have to reload. Maybe you can outplay somebody with a portal play and kind of come from above them, and boom, 78 damage, which is better than 50. Maybe they're already weak. That 78 might kill them. Maybe you can get even higher and jump on an unsuspecting enemy like this. 100, they'd be dead. Guys, that's going to be it for this next installment of Splitgate School. That is your beginner's movement guide, or I guess just an overall movement guide. There's really not too much else, but let me know if I miss anything when it comes to movement in Splitgate. I'd be more than willing to add a version 2 of this video, updated in the future, if I miss something that you guys think deserves to be here. But above all else, I just hope today was enough for you to help improve in Splitgate and help you understand the movement mechanics just that much more. And last thing before I go, a lot of you have probably tuned into the streams already, but if you haven't, I want to announce here on YouTube that I am in fact partnered with Splitgate now. It's not active yet. You can try to use it if you want, but I don't think it's going to work. But when you're buying things from the item shop, you can in fact use code Loochy. I don't know if it's active quite yet, but I know it's coming soon, and I'll be sure to keep you guys updated with that. So if you want to support me, support the game, if you buy anything from the item shop or any of the future battle passes once the game's official release is out, code Loochy in the shop. Thank you guys for the support on everything Splitgate related recently. It's been a dream come true. I hope I catch you in one of the streams over at twitch.tv/LoochyTV soon. Drop a like if today's video helped you, and we'll see you in the next one.